Hello and welcome to Coffee with an Expert. Before starting the discussion, let me give you an overview of GE Vernova. GE Vernova is a purpose-built company, a legacy of General Electric, GE, which has been manufacturing airplanes and turbines for more than 100 years. Our mission is to help the world electrify and decarbonize. That's why, with the Prophecy portfolio, we help manufacturers save energy, waste less, optimize their operations, and improve their processes thanks to digitalization. We are present all over the world with partners and more than 20,000 customers globally. Our customer base covers a large variety of industries, from automotive and discrete to food and beverage, chemicals, and process manufacturing. That this variety and deep knowledge expertise in the manufacturing world that allows us to partner with our customers. And with this idea of sharing our expertise more broadly, we have started monthly encounters with manufacturers titled Coffee with an Expert. So, Coffee with an Expert is a monthly meeting series, 13 minutes every month, to discuss digital manufacturing and smart factories with our GE experts. Here you see our schedule for the year 2024. We will soon publish our schedule for 2025. In the meantime, feel free to register for the replays of past sessions using this QR code. Our first topics for 2025 will include artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. We will use the same QR code to publish the upcoming topics, and we will also share it by email. So please stay tuned for our next calendar. After a couple of sessions on project execution, this month we will discuss how to accelerate time to value. So we have already had the introduction on GE Vernova. Now let's deep dive into our topic, how to accelerate time to value. This is precisely the role of our customer success organization, which is made of a team of account health and adoption services, the customer success managers, also known as CSMs. They support customers to help them adopt the Prophecy software globally and help them navigate the GE Vernova organization, support escalation, and reach and publicize their successes. Elisa Roca from our customer success management team is our expert today for this session titled How to Accelerate Time to Value. Elisa, over to you.
Thank you, Magali. Thanks everyone for joining this coffee time with us today. Yeah, on such an interesting topic. So let's have a look at the next page and imagine if every minute spent waiting for digital solutions was money lost. Because in the fast-paced world of manufacturing, that's exactly what happens. So welcome to our session on accelerating time to value in digital solutions. Today, we're not just going to talk about saving time, we are also going to explore how to turn digital potential into tangible profit faster than you can say the two words operational efficiency. So grab your favorite drink for this coffee time and buckle up because we're about to put the pedal to the metal and drive your digital transformation into the fast lane. So I have spent the last 20 years supporting and actively driving software implementations. And actually also some colleagues together with me have been researching the differences between projects that go well, digital projects that go well and are successful, and those that fizzle and ultimately fail to gain momentum and to yield ROI. And in our experience, it's almost never the product selected, nor the software vendor. And in fact, as you can see from this page sourced from Forbes, these are the 15 reasons why project fail, IT project fail. So I bet you're already skimming through them. So we'd like to know, which is the failing reason that resonates more with you. Maybe you can type it in the chat. And while you are choosing the one that speaks most to you, I'd like you to notice that not a single one of them says, oh, the product just didn't work. So, and particularly, I'd like to highlight to you a few ones. I'd like to highlight to you number 3, number 7, number 11, and number 14 specifically, as they are the ones related to change management activities that our team of customer success managers can help with. So number 3 says not asking for or incorporating team feedback. Number 7 says expecting immediate acceptance. Number 11 talks about neglecting to involve those impacted early and often. And number 14 says not helping others envision the possibilities. So incorporating cross-functional feedback into digital transformation engagement is key. And also maybe take a quick look at number 1 too. So a lack of clear communication plan before, during, and after change is very important. So don't underestimate the importance of communicating for commitment. If we move to the next page, we will see that the effectiveness of a change initiative is considered as a function of the quality of a solution and the level of acceptance by those impacted and involved. And many people tend to think that data, logic, and facts are enough to have effective acceptance for change. But neuroscientists actually say that emotion plays a huge role, and in most cases, emotion has to be in place first for data, logic, and facts to make their way through the rational side of the brain. So for effective change to take place, we have to have both the rational side and the emotional side in place before change can begin. And actually, and additionally, as you will see in the next page, if you have the rational side, but you don't necessarily have the emotional side, you may get a short-term compliance in terms of change. And if you have the emotional side, you don't have the rational side, you can get initial agreement, but may fail to gain long-term traction. If you don't have either of them, you can often get full resistance to change and slow down your time to value. So if you want to drive long-term effective change, you need to have the data and facts and the emotional side in place. And having data, facts, and emotion in place is very important to gain commitment and engagement. The investment of clients' time during the early stages of the project, and actually, hopefully, even at the ideation stage of scoping projects, is key to accelerate the time to value versus trying to do it later, to gain acceptance later, trying to catch up later, which is not ideal. And in GE Vernova, we offer adoption services to complement value scan services executed at pre-sales phase to maintain that commitment once a project is approved. So what are adoption services? As you will see in the next page, it's a process we have put together to help customers put effective strategies in place It begins, as you can see in this specific page, with benchmarking. We have in GE Vernova an adoption readiness assessment made up of 5 categories, including governance, outcomes, communications, operations, and training. And governance is all about having the right stakeholders and cadence of touch points between GE and the customer. Communication is what we have reviewed till now. Operations is making sure technically and operationally the customer is ready to start and to execute. And training is the education of resources. So these 5 categories are very important to develop and manage commitment to change and ultimately go faster. So if any of you customers score red or yellow in any category during the adoption readiness assessment, your GE Vernova Customer Success Manager will partner with you to execute customized playbook to help you get to green in all categories over time. And in addition, telemetry and observability of data and user sentiment data are measured upon go live of projects to understand where traction has been achieved and also where some additional adoption support might be needed. That which you measure improves. And speaking of that which you measure improves, as you can see in the next page, our outcome delivery services are very critical, a critical component of our adoption services. GE Vernova Success Managers aim at working with you, dear customers, to define goals and metrics, or even better, we take those resulting from the pre-sales value scan phase and the ROI projections, so that once your solution is up and running, we may help you develop continuous improvement strategies to take actions on the KPIs that will make the ROI projections a reality. We will also help you communicate best practices, communicate wins to maintain the commitment needed to achieve ongoing digital transformation. So in summary, as the next slide is telling us, adoption services are a great way to accelerate time to value as they ensure successful change management, solutions that align to your stated goals, measurable ROIs, and sustained commitment. And the testimony of what I'm presenting is a story I'd like to introduce to you today. A story that talks about growth, a story of growth, that of a chemical company who is embracing the change and change management as a key component of their digital transformation strategy and their growth. So if we move down to a couple of pages, you will see that a customer decided to collaborate in the chemical space, decided to collaborate with me to create communication material for the various stakeholders, for their awareness to start with, their engagement, and ultimately the communication on results and successes. And here in this page, you see a couple of examples of what we prepared jointly, the customer and GE Vernova. The first page is in the center of this slide, is a cheat sheet about NES for plant resources to receive and become acquainted with the topic and become acquainted that something will be happening in the site. While the second, the one more towards the right, is a poster we prepared to explain the project in terms of challenges, outcomes, and call to actions to gain momentum. We even thought about including a QR code to give possibility to the people to learn more to express themselves and to make some suggestions. So that was working very well. So in the end, with the help of our wonderful marketing department too, we supported this client to prepare material to amplify their story, showing what they achieved and how fast they achieved goals, thanks to communication and a good governance and definition of smart metrics upfront. So in the next page, you will see some of their first results that we communicate and where we can associate dollar values or just time savings, the things that are resonating within their corporate. We also worked on defining a stepped approach to identify low-hanging fruit types of KPIs first and celebrating those achievements as much as the bigger wins. The small wins are relevant to be praised to re-energize the teams for the subsequent phase of the delivery of the project or of the adoption. So in a very similar way, we can work with any client willing to invest in an acceleration plan of enterprise type to define goals, to track the goals and metrics, and showcase and prove your results afterwards. So we can be behind the scenes and help you beautify your stories and adapt them to your style and your company culture based on your business priorities and your preferences. Because as the next page tells us, it's your digital transformations and your teams we are talking about. So in the end, it's your story we help you tell and magnify with different types of activities that we can do for you or with you. So what are the next steps? What's next? As the next page tells us, well, actually a couple of pages next, with the help of Magali, who is now monitoring the chat you have to the right, we'd like to ask you to participate in a poll and ask your feedback and your opinion on this specific point. So where would you see the need to go faster in your digital journey or in 2025? Is any of these 5 options resonating with you more? So Magali is putting the options in the chat and we'd like you to vote one, maybe with a thumbs up, or maybe add some color around where you would need you will see the need to partner with your CSM team, with our CSM team more in 2025. So Magali, back to you as we are wrapping up with questions. Can we already see and check some of the points?
Yes, so I have pasted the different option 1 to 5 in the chat. If you want to add a smiley or the thumbs up to the suggestion that resonates the most with you. We have one already in the, so where are you? Where would you see the need to go faster in your digital journey in the upgrade to current software? So we have 1 thumbs up here, 2 here, 1 in 3 for expanding current software to cover new use cases, 1 in 4 expand geographically to new divisions. And more people for 2 implementing MES project for the first time. So 2 people answered 2. 2% answered 2. So, well, that's quite, there's not one option that is clearly the one that gets the most need. So it covers from expanding geographically, implementing MES, upgrades, And
that's very interesting, and maybe that could be driving some more of the conversations and the coffee with an expert in 2025. Maybe we could be covering more how we are supporting during upgrades of software. So what we could be doing together, and expanding the current software to cover new use cases is also something that we do help with. Also expanding geographically is something that we're very passionate about, and we have teams and groups of local partners also helping us with that activity so that we can feel closer physically, geographically, and culturally to our customers. So it's very interesting. And if any of you would like also to put in the chat some more color around where potentially you liked partnering with the customer success managers in 2024 and before, what you liked, what you appreciated in partnering with us, or where you would like to partner with us, that's definitely an input that we'd like to hear from you.
Yes, you can also ask your questions using the chat.
Absolutely, absolutely. Time for questions. So speak up. We know that you, for sure, you will have.
So you can contact us as well. So here I'm showing the contact of our colleague Cataldo, who will be very pleased to receive your question and send them to our colleagues. So it's cataldo.tarantini@ge.com. I'm also pasting in the chat the link to a form request. And certainly you already have your contact at GE Vernova, so you can also use that person. As we said, we really like to hear from you and hear your questions. We also have a survey, so that's the QR code for the survey to give us your feedback on this session. And now I see some questions. So first question, what are your metrics for success? What is your department measuring?
Oh, that's an interesting question. So we are asked this question quite a number of times because in other companies, in other organizations, customer success managers are measured on selling. Not in GE. We are not measured on selling. As we normally say, we are measured on serving. So we are part of the acceleration plan that customers are entitled to when they purchase the software, so the support package, so to say. And we are measured on the satisfaction of our customers. That's why we have a full team who is either monitoring the customers behind the scenes to make sure that they look green, that they are happy, that they are satisfied, that there are not so many open tickets and support cases open. And we organize voice of customers to hear their voice, and to report their voice to our GE Vernova management and leadership team. So we are really measured on the satisfaction of the customers. We don't have a stake in selling anything. We want them happy. We want them green. Thanks, Magali. It's a very interesting question. As like I said, many other organizations do have success managers, but measured differently.
Okay. So we have another question. What is average but realistic ROI for a digital project from your experience?
Oh, that's another very interesting question. Thank you, Darius, for asking. So it's difficult to say per se, because every project might be very different. So Agnes is an entire world of executing orders or measuring and acting on the effectiveness of machines with an OEE system, or measuring quality aspects of the production. So depending on the specificity of the customer and of the solution that is put in place, the ROI might be different. That's also where we want to partner with the customer to understand if the metrics that we can measure, that we measure with them, could be multiple. And we tend to do an exercise dividing them in short-term achievable metrics and long-term achievable metrics. So that's something that we learned from our experience. But that's a very interesting question. Maybe we could do a deep dive on in 2025 on how to do these exercises and how to help customers put an achievable deadline to the ROI they are projecting.
Another question: are success managers involved with clients after the go live of projects, and for how long?
Oh, interesting. Indeed, our customer success managers are involved in helping clients much after the go live of projects, so they do not fade out, just like SIs or partners or professional services after the hypercare. They support customers as long as they do have a valid support contract. And actually, for those customers investing in an acceleration plan of enterprise type, like I mentioned before, we do create a cadence of recurring meetings to work on the ROI aspect, to work on the metrics, on continuous improvement strategies, on ideas on how to make sure that the metrics can be achieved. Because as we normally say, the software does not do everything by itself. It's a mix of the software, the people, and so the technology, the people, and the processes, and maybe slight modifications of processes that can help the customer move into a continuous improvement direction and mindset, I would say. Thanks for this question. That's very interesting. So we are always behind the scenes, even when customers do not know that we are monitoring their health, thanks to our tools sitting on Salesforce. So
I have one last question at the moment. A little blunt. It's: what do people miss if they don't want to receive the help of a customer success manager?
Okay, what will customers miss if they don't want to invest in an acceleration plan of enterprise type? Well, they will miss a bunch of credits, which will help them take training courses and education classes for free. They will miss consultancy services. They will miss a voice by GE customer success managers towards the GE Vernova leaders, because we are having calls titled "Time to Value" with our leaders to bring up customer voice to our leadership team. They will miss the regular cadence of calls for metrics measurement. So they will miss all of these aspects and help with communications and help with the change management. So they will miss quite quite a number of nice activities that we can do for customers or with customers, plugging us in their culture and in their activities. But thanks for all of this. It was very nice to spend time with you. I'm posting in the chat a blog that is about our customer success manager. So have a look if you like. And maybe Magali, as it's December, so it's time for gifts. Let's ask this audience so whether there are any specific topics that you would like us to do coffee with an expert in 2025. Is there any topics you would like to see in the upcoming months? Maybe you can type them in the chat together with additional questions maybe you did not have time to ask us, and we'll make sure to come back to you. And yeah, and like you said, when you open this session, prepare the calendar, prepare and share the calendar for 2025.
Yes, so we are at time. Thank you very much, Elisa, for this overview of the customer success work and how to accelerate time to value with real example of customers. And thank you to Dana as well, who's in the background helping us with the execution of this webinar. So we hope you found this presentation useful and inspiring. We hope to see you in 2025 again with our new program that will be published soon. We will share the recording of this session by email, and you can share it to replay it or to share with your colleagues. And also feel free to reach out to us, to your GE Vernova representative, or to Cataldo as displayed on the screen. And well, we are wishing you a happy end of year, happy new year, and see you in 2025. Thank you.